to your Superman news video for the week February 7th to February 13th, 2014. Our top stories in this week's Speeding Bulletin include Superman Batman movie production designer Patrick Tatopoulos talks about the release date delay, Scott Lobdell talks about leaving the Superman comic books, and a video of a baby watching Man of Steel goes viral. Let's jump in to find out about these stories and more. In movie news, FlickeringMyth.com caught up with production designer Patrick Tatopoulos to find out where things are at with the upcoming Superman Batman movie and his thoughts on pushing back the movie's release date to 2016. He said, "The big chunk that we want to do for the movie is there, but there is so much more to do. For me, it's been a blessing that it's been pushed back a little bit." When Superman fans think of the voice of Lex Luthor in animated form, they can't go past the dulcet tones of Clancy Brown, who voiced the character in Superman the Animated Series. ComicBookResources.com caught up with Brown to talk about his acting career, while also asking him about his time voicing Lex Luthor and his thoughts on Jesse Eisenberg being cast in the role for the upcoming Superman Batman movie. He said, "I think Jesse Eisenberg is a great choice. I think he's a really sharp choice, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I think he could be spectacular." Last month we alerted you to the fact that voting for the second annual Screen Crush Awards was taking place at ScreenCrush.com, with fans asked to vote for their favourite films across a number of award categories. Results are now in, and Man of Steel was voted the best movie of 2013 with close to 40% of the votes. The full results of the second annual Fan Choice Awards can be found at ScreenCrush.com. Costumes for Man of Steel are currently on display at the 22nd Annual Art of Motion Picture Costume Design Exhibition in LA. Located in the FIDM Museum and Galleries, the exhibition opened on February 11th and will continue until April 26th. Doors open at 10 AM Tuesday to Saturday and entry is free. Unfortunately, no TV news this week, but there is heaps of comic book news, with Newsarama.com catching up with writer Charles Soule to discuss a huge upcoming event set to take place across Action Comics' Superman, Wonder Woman and Superman titles, while also discovering what the truth is behind the Death of Superman story within the New 52 continuity. He said it doesn't get much bigger than this. I mean, Doomsday is certainly where we're starting, but there's a whole lot more that's involved with it, and it's going to put Superman, his entire supporting cast, and a lot of the rest of the DCU through the ringer. Writer Scott Lobdell, who will be leaving the Superman books after the upcoming Superman Doomed crossover, added, "Anyone who is expecting a cover band version of the Death of Superman is going to be sorely disappointed. That story was told nearly 20 years ago. There is zero interest on anyone's part to do a New 52 version of it. After the finale of Superman Doomed #1 is read, you'll understand that there is no possible way for us to retell that story again." ComicBookResources.com has exclusive details and images for the upcoming Superman Doomed crossover event, which starts in the Superman Doomed #1 one-shot on sale May 7th. DC describes the comic as beginning the super event you have been waiting for in the New 52, Superman vs. Doomsday, in a way you've never seen before. And with Doomsday's deadly new abilities, in this battle there can be no winners. The Man of Steel must unleash insane levels of power in order to do the job, only to terrify the world he's saving. Beating Doomsday is only the beginning of this never-ending battle. Comic Book Resources also caught up with award-winning artist Klaus Janson to speak to him about his new role as inker on the Superman comic book with Jeff Johns and John Romita Jr. He said, "At this point in the process, we haven't nailed down any final decisions on the look that we are going for, just because we are still at a very early stage. This new creative team will come on board the Superman title after the Superman Doomed saga." To celebrate the release of Robot Chicken DC Comics Special #2, Robot Chicken and DC Comics are teaming up once again with 22 variant covers for comic books due out in March. The first special, which aired in 2012, showcased DC's super friends including Superman, Wonder Woman and Aquaman in Robot Chicken's trademark stop-motion style and irreverent humour. The second chapter, subtitled Villains in Paradise, premieres this spring and puts the spotlight on the Legion of Doom. Last week we reported on the upcoming comic book which will see Superman and the Justice League meet up with the stars of the NBA when TNT's Inside the NBA TV hosts join Superman, Green Lantern, The Flash and Steel in the crossover comic book titled The Justice League Goes Inside the NBA All-Star Edition. a new limited edition comic book that will be distributed for free at the NBA All-Star Jam session in New Orleans from February 13th to February 16th. Fans who can't make it to New Orleans can download the entire comic book as a PDF file from NBA.com. Superman comic books we reviewed this week included Adventures of Superman Chapter 41, which was reviewed by Alyssa Gossage, who gave it a 5 out of 5, saying, "Now we know why Joker makes his home in Gotham and not Metropolis." T.A. Hewitt reviewed Earth 2 number 20, saying, "This installment reads very much like an interlude," and he rated this a 3 out of 5. Justice League Beyond 2.0 Chapter 13 was also reviewed by T.A. Hewitt, who said, "Once more, the length and release time are the only drawbacks to what is a most excellent chapter," and he gave this a 4 out of 5. And Smallville Alien Chapter 8 was reviewed by Matt Short, who said, "This story just keeps firing on all cylinders," and he gave this a 4 out of 5 score. Look for Michael Bailey's reviews of Action Comics number 28 and Forever Evil number 5 very soon. The snowstorms knocked out his power at his place, so he is doing his best to get his reviews to us ASAP. Superman comics available this week from February 12th include Adventures of Superman Chapter 42 digital comic has been available since February 10th. Injustice Year 2 Chapter 3 digital comic has been available since February 11th. Injustice Year 2 number 2 print edition, which is available in a variant cover. Justice League 3000 number 3. Smallville Season 11 Alien number 3 print edition. Superboy number 28. Superman Wonder Woman number 5, which is available in a variant cover and a digital combo pack. Smallville Alien Chapter 9 digital comic will be available February 14th. And Supergirl Volume 3 Sanctuary Trade paperback. And Villains Month 3D motion complete set. Stock it to the world by flaunting these awesome Superman socks. Grab these Funko Superman Fuzzy Crew socks for just $9.96. Or put these Superman costume crew socks with cape on your feet, now just $10.99. These and other great Superman socks are available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman Homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. In other news, Quantum Mechanics announced this week that it has signed a deal with Warner Bros. Consumer Products to bring the heroes and villains of the DC Comics universe to its roster of Q-Pop figures. QMX plans to release the first DC Comics Q-Pops in the summer at QMX authorised comic collector and specialty retail outlets around the country. They'll also be available for purchase directly through the QMX website at qmxonline.com. DC Collectibles announced an exciting 2014 product lineup just in time for New York Toy Fair. DC Collectibles will offer a wide range of new action figures and collector's items based on DC Comics' iconic characters and other properties, including a new line of 4-inch wood figures. There's also a new 52 Supergirl action figure and Superman the Man of Steel statue designed by Shane Davis, and one based off Superman the Animated Series. IO9 reports that Yael Stewart, the creator of JL8, a fan-made webcomic which imagines the members of the Justice League as 8-year-olds, will soon have a series of Superman children's books published titled The Amazing Adventures of Superman. 4 titles from The Amazing Adventures of Superman will be Alien Superman, Battle of the Superheroes, Creatures from Planet X, and Escape from Future World. Keep an eye on the Superman Homepage online store for pre-order availability of these titles. Christopher Dennis, the fan who dresses up as Superman on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in Los Angeles, may now find himself known by the name Lazy Superman after Jimmy Kimmel interviewed him on his TV show this week after a man smashed a police car's windows in an attempt to steal a laptop, while Superman stood by and just watched.
How many children saw Superman stand there and watch a crime occur today?
Quite a few.
Quite a few. I'm sorry, Superman. We may need to take your cape away, and you're out of the Justice League. I'm sorry. Well, there you go. Thank you, Superman.
You're more than welcome.
We finish off with this cute video that went viral this week showing a baby's reaction to the flight scene in Man of Steel. And that's all the Superman news there was for the week February 7th to February 13th. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Great Scott! Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V, and look, it's the bat signal! Why is the bat signal in the Man of Steel sequel? I don't know, because they want to make it a Batman movie, because they want to make it a combination movie of every hero there is, because they weren't happy with Man of Steel, or because they loved Man of Steel so much that they want it to be the anchor of the shared universe. There's many ways that we can look at it. A couple of weeks ago saw the announcement that Jesse Eisenberg would be playing Lex Luthor and that Jeremy Irons would be playing Alfred. I saw an article that said something about, well, this gives us further proof that they're trying to youngify the DC universe. They're trying to go for a younger audience. They're trying to interest younger people, and they're trying to cast younger cast members. This all makes sense, except that Ben Affleck is older than Superman by 10 or 15 years, older than the guy playing Superman, Henry Cavill, and they've already announced that they want Batman to be a wiser, older, grizzled, seasoned crime fighter who's been around for a long time, even though Superman was supposed to be the first superhero in this universe. You can't go back on that. You can make up stories, you can say how it's going to work, you can say, well, what we really meant, or you can say, well, how we can still stay within what we said we meant, even though we don't mean it anymore, is we can say that no one really knew about Batman, he was in the shadows. Okay, maybe that makes sense. But Jeremy Irons being cast as Alfred is also not youngifying the universe, although he's a much younger Alfred, and in comparison with Ben Affleck, he's, I didn't look at their ages, but he's probably not much more than 10 or 15 years older than Affleck. In the Dark Knight trilogy, we went with Michael Caine. I wasn't that happy with his portrayal of Alfred, though I did like the third film best. I thought it had the most emotion, and I really felt that Michael Caine really felt for his, ward, Bruce Wayne, the person that he had mentored, the person he had taken care of, the person that he thought of kind of like a son. With Jeremy Irons, I think he's a great actor. I think he's a perfect Alfred for the type of Alfred we've heard they're going for, the MI5, the secret agent Alfred, the guy who used to be in the military or whatever. If that's what they do, and I think there was some rumor that that's what they were going to do. So I think in that vein, Jeremy Irons is perfect. I think he could be a perfect Alfred. I think he's more the type Alfred than what I saw in Michael Caine, even though everybody loved those films. The original guy in the Batman movie with Michael Keaton is still my favorite Alfred, although you couldn't really see him unless it was a much longer time ago, being like a secret agent or that kind of thing. And I'm talking about this in a Superman vidcast because I feel like the more people that get cast, the more extended the family of characters that are going to be in this Man of Steel sequel gets, the further and further we get away from it being a Man of Steel sequel. How are we going to learn about Alfred? How are we going to learn about... There's rumor that Batman has distanced himself from Robin because he betrayed him at some point. How are we going to learn about Robin? How are we going to learn about the betrayal? How are we going to learn about Wonder Woman? How are we going to learn about Themyscira? How are we going to learn about all these characters and still follow Clark Kent's story? We haven't seen what he really does at the Daily Planet, how he really becomes a member of society. We just kind of saw him walk in a sort of silly way for comedic effect or dramatic effect with the glasses at the end, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. He's there, he has no experience, he's never written before. Does Perry know who he is? Because he was there, although it was far enough away, and again, I've said before, no one's really expecting that some unassuming guy with glasses and regular clothes is an alien from another planet who flies around fighting otherworldly invading forces. But I like the casting of Jeremy Irons as Alfred. I still think Ben Affleck's going to do a fine job, and even though I was a bit angry last week, I still think Jesse Eisenberg is a pretty good actor, mostly for kind of comedy, kind of smirky, smarmy, goofy, sarcastic guys. And Luthor can have some humor, some sarcasm, but the problem is, we had that with Gene Hackman, it wasn't right. His portrayal is somewhat legendary as a goofy, kind of silly villain, kind of comedic villain. Hackman does it in a very comedic way, and it was written in a very comedic way. He's got the wigs, he's pulling them off. Kevin Spacey followed in that vein with the same type of character, and it was supposed to kind of be a part of that Donner universe. that then Lester took over, and he had the wigs, and you know, Lex is supposed to be this uber confident, uber intelligent, uber capable guy that can also be physically imposing, and that's my favorite view of him. Not like The Rock, but a guy who's really physically fit, kind of big, and as I said, very smart, very capable, very able to get things done when other people are failing, and unwilling to give up, and unwavering in his mission, whatever that mission is, in whatever story that it's being told in. And as I said last week, I just don't see Jesse Eisenberg as the type. And, you know, actors have complained about typecasting for years and years and years, so I hope he's fantastic, and I hope whatever they write is fantastic, but I feel like with casting that type of actor, we're not going to see the type of Luthor that I was finally hoping we'd get to see on screen. With Jeremy Irons, on the other hand, if this were a Batman movie, and we were actually going to see a little bit of his past in MI5, and we were going to see how he raised Bruce Wayne, which we should see, but in a Bruce Wayne movie, in a Batman movie. There's too much going on in this supposed Man of Steel sequel, or even Man of Steel versus Batman, to really see any of that. Where is there time for there to be a Lois Lane relationship? Where is there time for us to see Perry White? Where is there time for us to develop Alfred in any way at all? Where is there time for us to learn that Batman was around before and he had retired and he was grizzled and he was, you know, angry with the world and decided to give up on being Batman or whatever it is? It's one movie. I'm very frustrated because I don't understand, and we've got years to go, and I'm not condemning this movie, but it's certainly not, as I've made clear, the way I wanted the Man of Steel sequel to go. But Jeremy Irons, I think, is good news for Batman fans. I think he fits the role of Alfred really well. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and remember, I've got bat shark repellent spray in my pants.